Hi there, this is Efehan from UserGuiding. So I'm recording this video to give you a brief walkthrough of our platform and run together with you on the basics of user guiding so that you can step up your onboarding game more quickly than um, for a case that you don't have this video in hand. So yeah, firstly, congratulations on subscribing to User Guiding and starting your journey with us. Um, I want to start with a brief overview of our User Guiding panel so that you can get familiar with the buttons and all the infographics on this User Guiding panel before even starting your project. So once you land into this website, you will be seeing your main dashboard where you will have the monthly active users quota and also your active count of monthly active users to the corresponding month. Since we are in the month of February in 2023, this number 6 shows the monthly active users count for this account, which is my test account that I always use for testing purposes and just for fun. So let me give you a brief description of what a monthly active users is. So user guiding counts the monthly active users based on the total number of users who visited the pages where user guiding container code is installed. So since this is a limited source, we generally recommend our users to utilize it wisely and economically by enabling user identification. What we mean by user identification here, it might sound a little bit technical to you. So let me provide some brief description to that part as well. As soon as you start using user guiding and embed your container code to your platform, your installation bar will show you that you have completed 50% of the installation. This will not keep you from using user guiding. However, to get the full value, we generally recommend filling up this bar to 100% by enabling user identification. While this bar is at 50%, we will count your monthly active users based on your end user's browser sessions. So user guiding will generate a completely anonymous and random browser session based IDs for your users. And anytime your users start a new session or join your platform incognito or use a different browser or a different computer, they will be identified again by user guiding because it's again session based. Of course, this can be an option for some teams that don't have time to invest more on the technical part of user guiding and send their own user IDs. However, please keep in mind that not only this will consume your MAU quota more swiftly than the other method, it will also cause some instability issues for your end users experience. By instability issues, I mean some users may see that their progress are removed once they start a new session, and this is actually an expected behavior from our end because as soon as they start a new session, they're completely a new user for user guiding. So to overcome this issue, what we recommend you to enable user identification again and send your own user IDs to user guiding alongside other attributes which will let you segment the user experience and create more personalized, more user attribute based experiences for your end users. In this method, once you send your user IDs, the total number of monthly active users for that month will be the exact number of user IDs that you send over to user guiding within that month. If this explanation is a bit technical for you, I would definitely suggest you to share these articles and this video with your developers, so that they can check it out and conduct the necessary operations to enable user identification. And of course, you can always reach out to our support team through the chat widget on your panel to get more information on the installation part. Coming back to the user guiding dashboard, I want to show you that you will see general analytics dashboard of user guiding, where you see guides, checklists, resource centers, and hotspots, interaction, and completion performances, either in an overview format or more specifically for each guide. You can check out how each guide performs. So as I mentioned, since this is a test environment of my own, most of these guides are not that active, and as you can see, I didn't receive any interaction during this period. So that is why we don't see a real action on this part. But once you get your guides active and live, and all your content basically, you will see that the view count and completion count for each of your guides, or interaction count for your onboarding checklists, will be listed over here and will be shown you within a graph format. What is cool is that we also show you a different format. If you're not into graphs, we have the table for the interactions, and you can also export a CSV so that you can share it with your colleagues or make it a small part of a bigger picture within your organization. Also, I want to show you this, where you will have also a step analytics section, where you will be able to see where users actually drop off, and which you know how all steps are performing in means of completion, so that you can come back and reiterate to get the best performance out of your guides. Um, Apart from the main dashboard, you will see the users page on the analytics section, where we provide a list of users who are accessing the platform, where the pages of the platform where user guiding is installed. So you will have some attributes already pre-generated for you based on the browser session. So this can include device, browser, language, and web session, first interaction, and last interaction. Also, if you did not enable user identification, you will see the randomly generated user IDs for your users. Or if you have enabled user identification, you will see your own user IDs listed on this dashboard. Apart from that, we also provide user guiding material based filtering options, so you can filter your users based on whether they have seen a guide, or completed a guide, or even seen a guide but not completed, by filtering them really easily on this page. Apart from these attributes that we readily provide here, you can also send your own attributes within the same snippet where you enable user identification. So here you can see my own test custom attributes, where I send some information, and let's check it out to see if I have sent an information about my team. Yeah, as you can see, this user has this information where I have sent a team attribute, and the value is customer success, so that I can create a content based on their team information and show it only to them by creating a segment here called customer success managers onboarding, for example, and I can save this segment for further use. As long as users come in with the same attributes, with the same conditions that satisfies these filtering options, they will be populated in this list. And if I assign this segment, which I will show you later in this video on how to do it, how to achieve it, if I set this segment to an onboarding content or a different content, they will be the only ones who will see that content. While you are exploring these pages, you can also get some help from our widgets that you will be seeing, which we call hotspots, so that you can also get some help contextually other than this video. Yeah, and we are also always open to feedback, so feel free to use this part to share your thoughts about the users page. So to sum up, users page can be used to oversee the list of users, the segments, to see if your attributes are functioning correctly because the list is populated real time. And also you can create segments and set those segments later to different content via this users page. Yeah, so I will just discard these changes for now and come back to this dashboard so that we can further expand our usage of user guiding. So since I am an already onboarded user, you will see some little differences on your main dashboard than this recording basically. The first one is here you don't see those two widgets. One is the chat widget, which is expected to be not shown here because I am an admin user and I don't have to deal with the chat widget. However, the second part is you don't see the onboarding checklist here, which you see once you sign up to user guiding. Actually, this one is a deliberate choice from our end because we don't want to bother too much our users with the information that they have already seen and completed. So once a user completes the steps on the onboarding checklist, we just dismiss it, and you can also do the same with your own onboarding checklists. However, we also care about the user experience, and who knows, maybe another user will be joining the team and they will be needing some help with the onboarding process. So this is why we are always letting our users trigger the guides through the checklist within our own resource center on the main dashboard. So again, this need help button is a widget created with user guiding where you can actually trigger many experiences or get some real help from our articles that are listed and linked here as modules. And also you can search through our knowledge base to get the information that you need right on the point. And you can create your own resource center very easily with user guiding. So in this video, the initial onboarding checklist part is not included, but I recommend our users to download install the user guiding Chrome extension. You can just search through this part and click on downloading the Chrome extension and just go through this page to download the Chrome extension by your own. Yeah, since I already have the Chrome extension installed on my environment, on my Chrome extension, on my Chrome browser. Sorry, you already see the actual content here. So the user guiding Chrome extension is to create the guides and hotspots and also edit the existing ones. So you can name your guide however you feel like it. So I will just name it as demo guide. And once you create a new step, you will see some options here. So the model option provides an option to you to create some material within your guides that are just overlaying your platform and either welcoming your users or providing some information to your users. it can either be related to a promotion or an announcement or a downtime. Um, and there are many templates that you can use to have a model on your platform. So let me just create a welcome model here. And as you can see, you can place your model on wherever on the page that you feel like it. For example, if I place this model here, it will just pop up on the side of the page, and you can customize everything on your model, just like the other step types of user guiding. There is this design tab where you can adjust the viewport width or remove the backdrop shadow, remove the quit icon, or have the quit icon with a color of your choice. Or you can set a certain amount of delay to your guide step. This can add some more contextuality to your experience, even if you use a scroll delay. So if imagine that if a user just skims through the platform and just scrolls down to 30% of your platform, or even 10%, for example. Let's see how it looks in our environment. Yeah, as you can see, once I scroll down, the preview just started. So it can be, as I mentioned, a contextual experience for your users to have such delays. I just wanted to provide this option so that you can keep in mind while creating your own experiences. Let's actually create our uh, second step, which are tooltips. Uh, Actually, these are pretty familiar to all users who are almost familiar with some websites, but these are the these are the elements that are just highlighting a certain part of your platform, and either providing some information, uh, you know user guiding might actually be a big help for our business. Um, it can either provide brief information, or it can just it can just require some action from your users to click over that area where you have just highlighted with the tooltip, so that you can create more interactive experiences. And the setting is pretty simple. You can either set the tooltip to go to next step on click of button, which are the buttons here on this step itself, or you can set it as element, and once a user just clicks over this element, the guide will follow to the next step. Um, Again, we are automatically placing the tooltip based on where the highlighted part um, of the page is located on the actual page, but you can also set a custom placement for your tooltips, so that it can look a little bit better for your end users. So here what we saw was actually an expected behavior when, as you can see, actually I have highlighted this part on this page, but when I change the tooltip placement to this one, actually user guidings um, selector behaved differently in the first place. So this instability is an expected one, because we are currently using the default CSS selector of user guiding, and if some of the elements on your platform share almost similar CSS structures, user guiding might have hard time to highlight the correct actual element, because with our human eyes we are seeing the elements are pretty different, but in the CSS file they are also almost identical. So in order to overcome this, in case you experience such issues of highlighting the incorrect part, or highlighting not even highlighting the part that you just highlighted, or not even a wrong place, um, you can inspect your page and inspect the element in question and see if there are any unique CSS properties for that element. And if there is, we generally suggest you to use a custom CSS selector here, and you can get more information on this article. Um, Once you use the custom CSS selector, the selection will be more precise, and it will be a much better experience for your end users. Um, Again, the design and the advanced settings can be overlooked here, and you can just play around to see how everything functions. Um, and yeah, if you have any questions while you are creating a tooltip or a model, you can just let our customer support team know about it, and they will just help you as much as they can, and they are always willing to help. Um, the last variety of the guide steps are input fields, which are exactly the same with the tooltips, except they have some unique properties because they are meant to highlight input fields on your platform. So here we don't have any input fields, but I will just highlight it for the sake of this example to show you some unique settings of this kind of step. Um, as you can see, there are some um, different settings here. So you can set a field as required. So users need to have some sort of input to move to the next step, or you can just remove this setting. You can validate the type of input by 3 different types like zip code, email, phone number, or you can autofill to have just an example guide for your users so that they can just see how the certain operation could be performed on your platform, and they can just go with their own settings and go with their own tasks after following through this guide. Um, Other settings are again pretty similar with the tooltips, so I highly suggest you to create a test guide or just play around with it. Don't worry, once you create a guide, it won't directly go live to your end users. It is inactive as long as you turn it active and save and publish changes, which is again an important part which I want to emphasize. Um, so once you made some changes on the extension, we are automatically saving it, but also we are recommending you to click on the save button to save your changes. You can think of it as a pre-save. Once you save your changes, it won't go live to your end users immediately. It's just that your work is saved within user guiding. But if this guide is an active guide, it will continue to be shown to uh, your users with the uh, you know not the latest version, but the version where you didn't make those changes. However, if you go ahead and click on this green publish changes button, all the changes that you have just saved will be published to your live code, and now your active content will be completely changed with the new settings. Before finishing up with the Chrome extension, I want to show you two things again. One is, as you can see, you can add different components to the guide steps. You can add text components just like this one. You can add images just like this one, or you can add buttons with different click actions, like going to a specific URL, starting a guide, running a JavaScript snippet, or ending the guide. The sky is the limit here. Actually, you can set a button style and work with the alignment and all that. Also, if you want to add a video, you can just insert the embed code here, and we have a wide variety of help articles regarding each component that you see here, so that you can learn how to achieve it by skimming through the articles that we have in help.userguiding.com. Also, you can again reach out to our support team if you have any questions regarding this part. Finishing up with guides, I want to show you again the hotspots. Um, Actually, the components part and the creation process is pretty similar, but I want to just familiarize you with the hotspots in general. So hotspots are contextual onboarding elements, but they can also be used for new feature adoption, for announcements, for to answer frequently asked questions, and they are again linked with a specific, specific part of your platform, just like tooltips and input fields. Remember, we have seen the hotspots that we have created here with user guiding for user guiding. Just like this one, you can create your own through the Chrome extension, and again, just like tooltips or input fields or models, you can add different components within your hotspots here. Also, you can set a condition for the interaction, so that the message of the hotspot, the content of the hotspots, can show by hovering over the beacon or clicking on the beacon or hovering over the selected element or even focusing on the selected element. And you can set some height conditions, or you can open the hotspot by default. You can set different hotspots here, um, and the beacon styles here, and also set the placement, turn off or on the pulse animation here, which looks something like this. Yeah, this is a pulsing hotspot. Um, and you can set different beacon sizes and beacon Z indexes. For this customization options, you can also set a global theme for your guides and hotspots here on your user guiding page, so that you don't have to deal with every little step, but if you still want to make some little tweaks, you can do it for individual steps or individual hotspots. So you can see a wide variety of customization options here, and including a custom CSS. And feel free to share your feedback regarding this part, so that we can expand the possibilities here. So thank you so much for listening up to this part. Now I want to show you some more uh, possibilities with user guiding. One is, of course, the onboarding checklist. Um, as you can see here, there are some ridiculous guides with ridiculous namings. Again, this is my test account, so apologies for all the mess here. But um, as we just covered, to create guides and hotspots, you are using user guiding Chrome extension, and you can also use it to edit your guides and hotspots in the future. But for all other content that you can create with user guiding, you will be using the panel to see the preview, and also set some settings for your content. Um, so yeah, the checklist is among the options of content that you can create with user guiding, and the main use case that we recommend you to use the checklist is to onboard your new users, or your employees, or even provide some advanced ways to use your product for your existing users. But again, the main use case is to let the new users complete the initial baby step tasks within your platform by your guidance, which is not affecting their freedom within your platform, and you are still providing some options and some logical steps for them to take so that they can start being a successful user inside your product. So we have a wide variety of best practices and use cases collections within our help center, but just to give you some idea, what we generally recommend you to have within an onboarding checklist is no more than 5 or 6 guides within an onboarding checklist, because we don't want to bother users with too many information or too many tasks within the first place. And we generally recommend setting a tone around a certain aha moment or a certain value point within your platform and setting it as the last step of the onboarding checklist. From there, you can just think backwards uh, about your solution, about your product, or about the need of your user, and you can just set a set the most frictionless way possible to get to that value point inside your platform. So to give you an idea, for user guiding, this value moment is going live with user guiding and seeing the first guide on the platform live. So that is why our onboarding checklist last step is going live with user guiding. And to get there, we just provide these steps to the users. There is the sign up step, and then we let them download the Chrome extension and then create their first guide and complete the installation and then go live with user guiding. So here another tip would be to add a sign up step at the very beginning of your onboarding checklist, so that they don't have to deal with a blank state onboarding checklist. By doing almost nothing, they will be able to see that they have just completed the initial step of your onboarding checklist, which will incentivize them to further use the onboarding checklist to get onboarded within your platform. Yeah. Um, the settings of the onboarding checklist are pretty straightforward, and you can just explore it on your own, and you can again refer to our help articles regarding creating a checklist, or you can just write to me or our support team if you have any more information, if you need any more information, sorry. Coming back uh, to the other content that you can create with user guiding other than guides, checklists, and hotspots. This one is called the Resource Center, where you provide some self-serve experience for your users, because you can just let this Resource Center be on be available on every page, or some specific sections, or for some specific user groups, um, so that they can just help themselves within the platform on their own. So just like we saw in the very beginning of this video, you can integrate your knowledge base to the resource center, so that users can just type down their questions and they can just find the answers by their own. Um, we use two search engines. One is Google and the other one is Zendesk. And you can see that Zendesk is a separate one, but by Google we mean the other compatible knowledge base providers. And you can find the list where on our help center, again by searching for knowledge base or compatible knowledge bases within our help center. Um, the only requirement here is that we require your knowledge bases to be publicly accessible, and also they should be indexed by Google or Zendesk. And after that, they can just your users can just search through the articles and see the articles either in widget or in another tab, just like this. Um, Other than that, you can add different type of modules within the resource center. Um, these can be external URLs, so you can just You can just feature your critical articles, or you can just add your support ticket submission forms, or let users book a meeting directly through the resource center via the external URLs, or you can add your guides. Again, these guides does not require to be an interactive one or an overview guide. They can also contain a HubSpot calendar or a Calendly calendar, where you can just let users book a meeting with you, or they can just submit a survey response if you can integrate your Typeform or Google Forms. Anything that you have in mind, you can just add it into the guide section. Uh, and this can be achieved by using the extension and adding either an HTML component or a video component inside a guide, and just having more customized options. You can add your checklists again here as modules. Let me just add a few stuff while I'm talking. Of course, you can add new add some tags to your modules as well. Let me just add a guide again. Yeah, I will add this one, and I will add this tag, for example, and I can just add external URL, select CSS selector help, and I can add an emoji for this one. Yeah, it all works with the resource center, and I can really confidently say that it will boost the experience of your users, and it will help you a lot in the long run by letting users helping their own within your platform. Yeah, let me just discard these changes again, but before moving out from this part, let me just show you. You can just customize everything here shown within the resource center. If you need more customization options, again, feel free to share your feedback with us. Here you will see that you can also adjust the header color, the launcher color, and everything related to the header and the launcher. Also, this configure page is something that I want to cover in the upcoming minutes, because it's just related to all content type, and I think it's a very important part while dealing with your user guiding project. So yeah, for resource centers, again, this is an enough information for now, but again, if you need more information, you can just access our knowledge base through here, help.userguiding.com, or you can just type in your questions here, and you can just learn more about creating guides here, for example. Lastly, you can create a promoter survey, which we call MPS, which is generally called MPS. You can just adjust everything that you see, and you can customize everything that you see here on this MPS, and you can customize the look of it, the design of it, and you can set appearance settings for your MPS. You can set different display conditions based on whether a user answered it or dismissed it, and you can set a sample size for the user group that you're targeting. Again, remember that we have talked about the audience segmentation part. You can either set your audience segmentation to all users, or you can set it to only me, where user guiding will look for an installed user guiding Chrome extension on your Chrome browser, and if you have that, it will show it only to you. Or you can set your own custom segments by creating them firstly on the users page, and then come here to each content to set the audience segmentation. Yeah, this is generally some basic information regarding the contents. I will just briefly talk about the configuration part, which is related to all content type, and that is why I wanted to just keep it in the very end of it. So for guides, when we come to guides, there are some configuration options while you are planning to set a guide live after you have created it or edited it. Of course, you can show a guide based on some URL rules, and also you can show a guide to different user groups based on the attributes that you are sending to user guiding. If you want to show guides on only the specific pages of your platform, and if you're sure that user guiding is installed on that pages, what you need to do is to come here and set the um, page targeting for your guide here. So by default, user guiding will just paste the URL with the equals rule. This URL is the web page where you just created the first step of this guide with the extension. But you can set different page targeting rules for your guide's first step to appear. You don't have to set different page targeting rules for every little step of your guide. The user guiding will just follow through all the guides, all the steps, once you set a page targeting rule only for the initial step of your guide. And you can set different rules. For example, if you want to show your guide on pages where you have, for example, some user specific paths, so you can just say that you want to show the guide only on pages where this part is included. So this is just a simple example, but I just wanted to show you that there are infinite options here, and user guiding can support users URLs with user specific paths, or you can show the guides on multiple pages. If you want to show them on multiple pages, you can just set the rules accordingly here. This might sound a little bit complex to you, but I promise, as soon as you start playing with the tool and you just lay out your plan with user guiding on each URL, it will be very clear for you to create page targeting rules. And again, we are here to help you anytime you want. I have just shown you the audience segmentation part, but again, by default, the audience segmentation will be set for all users by default. You can set it to only me, where we will just look for a user guiding Chrome extension installed on your Chrome browser. If there is, we will just show it only to those users. If you want to be more specific for your test segment, you can just send some attributes related to your test users and create a custom segment and assign it to your guide over here. And to create segments, again, you can use the users page. By clicking on this button, you will be directed to the users page right away. By default, the guides will be set to automatically trigger. By that I mean, if the audience segmentation and the page targeting rules are satisfied, we will show the guide automatically to the user, and by default the appear frequency is only once, but you can set it to once a session, once a day, or any other options here. Or you can select to turn off the auto trigger and use some other custom trigger options. So within this video, we have already seen a custom trigger option, which is triggering a guide through another onboarding content. You can trigger a guide through a resource center or a hotspot. This is very beneficial to not interrupt the user's experience with too many automatically triggering guides. Of course, you can decide to trigger guides for users automatically when you welcome them or show some notifications and all that. But for onboarding guides, for other use cases, you can use the custom trigger options here as well. You can use the hyperlinks to trigger the guide, or you can use the JavaScript API of UserGuiding to embed the guide in certain parts of your platform, so that they will be triggered custom via custom method by the intention of your end user, not just automatically. If you are a professional plan user or a corporate plan user, or if you have purchased this scheduling option as an add-on, you can schedule your guides to show in within a certain time frame, so that you don't have to deal with the guides every time you just want to show it. You can just create it in the very beginning and let the user guiding show it on the correct dates. And I want to mention a really important part, which is the redirection part, and it's the last part that I want to mention for the guides configuration. For the redirection part is important, and it again can sound a little bit technical or complex to you, but once you play around with the tool and read our helpful articles and get in touch with our customer support team, I think it will be very clear for you. But I always have this analogy of an anchor in my mind when I think about the redirection. This redirection URL is again automatically pasted by UserGuiding here based on where you created your first step of the guide, and it works basically like an anchor. So imagine that you have a guide that is going to be custom triggered. For example, you will be triggering a guide through the resource center, but you are on a page where basically the page does not match the redirection URL. So naturally the guide should not show on that page. So user guiding just takes the redirection URL into reference once an end user clicks on the guide to trigger it, and checks whether the URL matches the page targeting rules. If they do not match the page targeting rules, we just take the user to the redirection URL so that the guide can start where it is supposed to be. We are just taking them to the correct URL while you are using a custom trigger method. So that is why this method, this redirection URL, will not function for automatically triggering guides, because they are already automatically triggering on pages for the audiences that are targeted for this experience. You can learn more about this function through this article, and again, reach out to us if you have any questions. Let me just show you the configuration for the other stuff. Again, the page targeting is common for every little content in user guiding. The audience segmentation is the same, and you can set the checklist to open by default or hide as completed through its own settings, or you can let it be triggered only through the resource center. For the resource centers, again, it's the same settings almost. So the some extras that you see here for the guides, like automatically triggering or redirection URLs, they are just unique to the guides section. It's not related to the other part of user guiding. Lastly, I want to show you the general settings of user guiding. Again, once you have the initial onboarding checklist, you will see that you will have to embed the container code, the SDK of user guiding, to actually install user guiding on your environment. You can just share the code with your developer, or if you're a technical person, you can just do it on your own. We have a wide variety of articles that is tagged as for developers or installation within our help center. You can check it out again whenever you feel like it. You can manage your profile here. You can change your password or change your email here. You can add more team members here if you are a professional or corporate plan user, or if you have purchased some more seats to your basic plan subscription. Um, Again, enabling user identification, a very crucial part of the installation, but of course it is optional, um, an option that we highly suggest, to be honest. um, you can turn on different integration options. They are one-way integrations, meaning that we are sending information from user guiding to these uh, destinations. You can learn more about each integration option by clicking on the article links here to learn more about what information that we are sending to those destinations, and you can turn them on by following the steps on the articles, following the steps explained within the articles. And lastly, you can manage your subscription here on the users page. On the subscription page. You can manage your billing details. Here you can change your credit card and see the invoice history. Here, if you are an eligible user to do these. Um, yeah, I think that's all for now, and thank you for watching this video up to now. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or our customer support team, or you can just search for your answers by your own through the help center. In either case, we are very pleased to have you, and we will be really glad to help you during your user guiding journey. Thank you.